an action suspense and visual experience like you've never seen before. This 2026 lineup of brand new movies is absolutely insane. In part 1, we're covering the most awaited masterpiece films whose visuals and storylines are set to completely change the game of cinema. These are the movies that will keep you hooked to the screen till the very end. Before you get lost in the video, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss part 2. Now let's jump straight into today's epic countdown. What happens when two long-lost friends enter the deadliest fighting tournament with the fate of the world at stake? Set in the 90s, the story follows two former best friends who are brought together again to compete in a mysterious global tournament. But this isn't just a fight. Behind the scenes lies a dark and deadly conspiracy. As they face the world's most brutal fighters, they're also forced to confront their deepest fears and enemies from their past. Can they survive this deadly game and save the world, or will it be game over for everyone? If you love intense martial arts action and conspiracy-driven adventures, get ready for this one. The film is Street Fighter, releasing October 16th, 2026 in theaters. What happens when a silent father turns into a storm of death to save his kidnapped daughter? The story follows a helpless, mute father whose daughter is taken by a brutal human trafficking gang, and the system fails to help him. With nothing left to lose, he declares war on the underworld himself. Along the way, he teams up with a man whose wife was also a victim of the same gang. Now together, they set out to destroy this entire network. Can two ordinary men take down a deadly syndicate with pure skill and rage, or will they disappear into this dark world forever? If you love intense revenge, dark themes, and brutal martial arts action, get ready for this one. The film is The Furious, hitting theaters on June 12, 2026, and later streaming on Lionsgate Play. What happens when the deadliest tournament returns? With the fate of the entire world on the line, the story continues as Earth's champions unite to stop a ruthless tyrant from taking over their world. This time, the enemy is stronger than ever and determined to enslave the entire planet. To protect their home, the champions must enter a brutal tournament where losing means certain death and the end of everything. Can they risk it all and win this deadly fight, or will the world fall into darkness forever? If you love brutal martial arts and full-on action-packed battles, get ready for this one. The film is Mortal Kombat 2, releasing May 8, 2026 in theaters, with streaming later on HBO Max. What if a mysterious sword could turn an ordinary man into the most powerful warrior in the universe? The story follows a prince who crash lands on Earth as a child, and 20 years later, a magical sword pulls him back to his lost world. But when he returns, he faces a terrifying truth. His entire kingdom is now under the control of a dark and ruthless sorcerer. To save his people, he must unlock his past and become a warrior powerful enough to face pure evil. Can he embrace his true power and defeat this dark force, or will his world remain enslaved forever? If you love sci-fi adventure, dark magic, and epic world-saving battles, get ready for this one. The film is Masters of the Universe, releasing June 5th, 2026 in theaters, with expected streaming later on Prime Video. What happens when 48 innocent lives are forced into a deadly game where only one can survive? The story follows a 16-year-old boy who is pushed into the most brutal survival arena against his will. This time the game is even darker, with double the number of players in the arena, deadly traps at every step, and ruthless opponents hunting each other down. To survive, he must rely on strategy, not strength. Can he outsmart this deadly system and break the cycle, or will he become just another body in the arena? If you love brutal survival games, mind games, and dark action, get ready for this one. The film is The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping, releasing November 20th, 2026 in theaters and IMAX. What happens when an ex-commando gets framed for his own boss's murder and is forced to run? The story follows a former Special Forces officer who's blamed for the assassination of his billionaire boss right in front of his eyes. To prove his innocence, he escapes onto a cargo ship, but in the middle of the ocean, he uncovers something far bigger: a dark international human trafficking operation. Now, this isn't just about survival, it's about exposing a deadly conspiracy. Can he take down this brutal network and clear his name, or will he be silenced before the truth comes out? If you love high-stakes chases, global conspiracies, and intense ocean-set action, this is one to watch. The film is Mutiny, hitting theaters on August 21st, 2026. What if a superhero is erased from everyone's memory and becomes a stranger in his own world? The story follows a lone protector who must now save his city without an identity and without any allies. But things get worse when his powers start changing in a dangerous way. On one side, deadly underground enemies are rising, and on the other, his own powers are becoming his biggest threat. Can he control these unstable powers and win this fight, or will he lose himself before saving the city? If you love dark superhero action and intense street-level fights, don't miss this. The film is Spider-Man: Brand New Day, releasing July 31st, 2026 in theaters. What happens when a girl searching for peace walks straight into the trap of a psycho killer who hunts for fun? The story follows a professional mountain climber who heads out alone into the wilderness to recover from a traumatic past. But her journey takes a dark turn when she meets a man who pretends to help her, only to reveal his true nature as a ruthless predator. Now, deep in this isolated terrain, there's no one to hear her screams, and survival turns into a brutal fight for life. Can she use her survival skills to outsmart this deadly hunter, or will this wilderness become her final resting place? If you love intense survival thrillers wars, and deadly cat and mouse chases, don't miss this. The film is Apex, now available on Netflix. What happens when a powerful protector is forced to fight her deadliest enemy without any powers? The story follows a superhero who has seen her world destroyed and now sets out on a dangerous space journey to bring justice for an innocent child's loss. Her mission leads her to a distant planet under a red sun, where she loses all her abilities. Now, with no powers left, she must rely only on her rage and courage to face a ruthless killer in a brutal face-to-face battle. Can she defeat this deadly enemy as just a normal human, or will she become the next victim on this barren planet? If you love dark action, space survival, and intense revenge stories, this is one to watch. The film is Supergirl, releasing June 26, 2026 in theaters and IMAX. What happens when a billion-dollar heist turns into a deadly trap where the hunters become the hunted? The story follows an elite covert team tasked with recovering billions stolen from a ruthless dictator. What looks like a clean mission quickly spirals into a web of betrayal and bloodshed. Surrounded by enemies on all sides, the job is no longer about the money, it's about staying alive. Can this team escape the trap set around them, or will betrayal from within destroy them first? If you love covert operations, high-stakes heists, and survival-driven action, get ready for this one. The film is In the Gray, hitting theaters on May 15, 2026.